Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What's up? What's good? What's good? What's going on? Happy Friday. Welcome to a fine Friday edition. What's going on out there, man? Good morning. Yeah, buddy. Anyway, what's going on, man? Happy, happy Friday to all y'all. Man, is that hacky radio style enough for y'all or what? Just playing. What's going on, man? Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this fine Friday edition. BS with Hannas with me. That's me. Hannas. Nikki Hannas here live on YouTube. A little YouTube morning talk show. Come out here a few times a week, talk about what I'm thinking, what I'm reading, what I'm doing, what I'm wondering about, what I'm just triggered by sometimes, what am I spiraling about sometimes. You never quite know. You never quite know. Generally, I'd like it to be positive. Generally, I'd like it to be helpful and useful, insightful, borderline street philosophizing sometimes, but neither here nor there, man. Get to wake up on a good day, wake up nice and early, throw that weighted vest on, go take a nice walk, go sweat. It is hot and humid and nasty out here in Pennsylvania, at least this morning, but that's all right, man. Get them steps in, get your body right, get moving a little bit, heart rate up, blood pumping. Come back in and read some good stuff. Come out here and talk to the people. If you guys find yourselves here while I'm streaming live, you are in fact my people. If you find yourselves here via YouTube Shorts, thank you for your meaningful contribution in the comment section, as I'm sure it will be. Yeah, man, I'll just come out here and talk about what's going on, man. It's a Friday. When it's a Friday for me, dude, I like to just kind of ponder the big picture. Ponder the big picture a little bit. Once I'm done talking to the people out here, got to go hit the weight room, go throw some weight around and get that lift in, blast some metal probably. Then we go to work. And for me, what I do for work, I run a burger joint. So it'll be a nice, long, open to close day in the burger joint, sweating, getting it done, man. I don't love it, but that's all right. That's why we come out here and pontificate, proliferate ideas, you know? And it is what it is, gang. Till I find the secrets, till I find the way to make some money without having to sell my labor with my hands, my labor with my time, paid by the hour. That's the dream. That's the dream. A lot of people, there's fucking people in the world, and I have a proclivity to say a lot of people, a lot of people. Most people work jobs, and there's dignity in hard work. There's a righteousness to doing something you hate. You shouldn't have to, but that's the world we live in, man. Got to make that money. Got to make that money to survive. And if you ain't surviving, how are you gonna you're dead, obviously. So let's start there. You got to survive. From surviving, you got to do all right. You got to relax. You got to be able to enjoy some things in life. For many of us, that could just be simply kicking your feet up when you're done the day and watching TV. You're putting on a movie, eating some food. You know, for some of us, that's not enough. We got to go do other things. Many of us are potentially existentially just lost and just in a miasma of thought that's pervasive and follows us around, and we don't know how to manage that. I've been there. Shit, I've been there for sure. There's a restlessness. And for me, that restlessness turned itself into substance abuse and drinking, drugging, getting high, staying high. You know what I mean? Because once you get to that point, it's almost like, what's your perspective on the world? This show is called BS with Beyonce. I like when I came up with it. It's an alliteration. It's fun. B Hannas. It's my goofy stage name of sorts. BS bullshitting with B Hannas. No different than hanging out after a gig, having a smoke or something. If I was still a bar rat hanging out in the gutter with the other bar rats, yeah, I saw Benny at the bar. We hung out and had a smoke and just talked some shit. It's kind of the vibe, man. That's why I only come out here for a little while. There's no soapbox to be had. There's no soapbox to be had. How can there be a soapbox to be had? I'm in the trenches too, just like most cats out here, just like most people out here, man. The exceptions to the rule that we see, that I see on social media or in the magazines or in the books, or, they're the exception to the rule. They're not the rule. And it's interesting because then the phenomenon is in the big picture. It's like, well, how do I get that? If I see somebody with a mansion and supercars, and I'm not even a motorhead per se, but like I wouldn't mind having a nice ass whip, just something sexy, just to cruise around in and blast Death Angel or something. Yeah, you feel like a king doing that. Beautiful day, windows down, put on some fucking ultra violence or something. I digress. I digress. But so the question is, it's like, how do I get that? Do I work my fingers to the bone? Do you sacrifice every hour of every waking day? How much you want what you want, and what you want is what you want once you're honest. A lot of us aren't even honest about what we want in life, because that's such a vague and open-ended question. What do you want out of life? I've been asked that question, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. To live, to get by, to be comfortable. That's the big answer, right? I just want to be comfortable. Well, what's comfortable entail? You're only comfortable till you ain't comfortable. It's comfortable, a 4-bedroom house with 2 children and a spouse, because that's like, man, that's not as easy as we'd like it to be. Maybe I'm just a product of my environment. Maybe I'm just a product of years and years of pessimistic, detrimental ways of thinking that I'm trying to constantly, and in live time, a lot of times when I come out here, this is live time riffing. This is thinking out loud and piecing it together as I go, which is a microcosm of life, all things considered. But yeah, I just want to relax. I just want enough to get by. Well, you got a 4-bedroom house, a couple kids, clothes, food to feed everybody. What kind of job you got paying for all that? You and your spouse working? What kind of jobs you got? What kind of time you got? You got to get babysitting. I mean, the older I get, it's like, man, what a stupid answer that is to that great question. What do you want out of life? Well, we all we want what we want, and that's up to everyone as an individual. You know, at this point in my life, man, a few years sober, it's like I want impact. I want a righteous life. How about that? Because a lot of things could fall into that, but we know if it's righteous or not. What kind of, say I got all the money in the world and I just spend it eating pizza, blowing up, getting fat, sitting on my ass, doing nothing, watching TV. We know that's not righteous. We all know that's not righteous. And right now, it's like, yeah, I ain't rich, not quite broke, but I'm closer to broke than I am not broke. Just keep it honest, right? So what do? I spend my time, I get up and throw a weighted vest on and I buy books. I got hundreds and hundreds of books, some of which I've read. The more I buy, the less that I have that I've read. But I got a sick killer home library, bunch of CDs, bunch of vinyl, bunch of guitars, bunch of amps, gas station sunglasses for when I come out here and talk to the people online. And that, with or without the money, with or without the bank account, there's something to be said about that. And in my view, I'm waking up every day with no hangover. I'm waking up every day and using my body, lifting weights, even just getting steps under my feet, putting miles under my feet. Yeah, that'll do something to you. That'll do something to you. So when I hit that pre workout in the morning and then go get under a bench press, I'm like, this is righteous. I don't love the job and I wrestle with that. I struggle with that, but that's all right. It's incumbent on me then to figure that out and get past it, move on to the next thing, which is, what do you want out of life? The real answer to that is the next thing. Bring it on. Let's go. Good or bad, it's coming anyway. And that's some big picture stuff, man. Part of me always has that FOMO. "Oh, I would love to have the day off tomorrow." And because, I'm in the food business, dude. Most cats in the in the working world, they're off Saturdays and Sundays. Not all. And a lot of people out here, God bless them, man. A lot of people are out here just grinding. A couple of weeks back, my landlord had my roof done in my house. And that's a whole Saturday. It was like Juneteenth, which was a federal holiday on a Friday. Construction companies came out and was hammering 12 hours, literal hammering for 12, 13 hours. And then they're out on a Saturday just getting that work in, getting that job done. Lots of people out here are just, they're not the stereotypical, thing that we reach for when we think most people, which is why I got to catch myself when I say that most people. How can I speak to most people? But there are many among us in what I see. When the weekend comes and it's time to relax. You got any weekend plans? Man, what you mean? I'm grinding a 12-hour day today and tomorrow. I'm busy. And that's just where I'm at in life right now. You know, should I get to a place where I can transcend that? That's a real test of character then. If you got the ability to sit on your ass all day, you still going to sit on your ass all day? If you have the means to not have to work like a dog, you're still going to work like a dog because you're going to show your character that way. You're going to show what you're made of once you got all the opportunity. It's that old thing, comfort kills. You start surviving, and surviving's almost like as hard as it is, there's a righteousness to it because you got no option. There's no alternative to not paying your rent. If you're if you're even somewhat well to do, you don't just let rent not get paid. You don't just not pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? Once you get past surviving, though, it's like, how do you go from surviving into a stage of any type of comfort and then go from comfort to the next thing? What carries you there? Ambition, drive, work ethic. What compels you? What's your why? That's that book. Start with Why. Simon Sinek. It was a good book. What's your why for everything that you do? Well, everybody's got different whys, and I bet you many among us are not so honest with them. Not much of it's like self-centered self-interest, which is fine. I'm not anti-self-interest. I'm not anti-profiting. You should. That's a hell of an initiative saying if I do this thing, I'm getting paid, getting that money, dog. That makes, yeah, of course. What's the limits of that? I don't know, man. What's the limits of that? How much of it, the married people among us? This is all for my wife. It's all for my children. I ain't got a wife and I ain't got kids, so I can't speak to that. I bet you it's a strong motivator, though. And I bet you if that means on a Friday, that changes how you live going into the weekend. Because we're all going into the weekend and we all have some type of conception about the weekend. Over my life, yeah, it's been tough to be neutral, be not negative. There was a lot of time in my life when, like, got any plans for the weekend? I'm like, what do you mean plans for the weekend? I'm working. What are you doing? I ain't mad about that no more. But man, for many years, I was like resentful and bitter and just like not cool about it. And that's a bad look. Hey, yo, K Matt Sanka in the chat. What's up, dude? Good morning, man. Nothing, brother. I'm pontificating and pondering about going into the weekend. There is a little bit of pre-workout in my system, so I'm kind of starting to feel that itch. Feel that itch. You know what I mean? Think about just, yeah, big picture, man. Big picture on a Friday. It's important to me to keep that vision calibrated, keep them sights. What do you say? Sighted in. Yeah, keep that scope sighted in. Keep that finger on the trigger, foot on the pedal. Keep the iron hot. What's the old saying? Strike while the iron's hot. Well, keep that iron hot, and you just be striking. And if you live a life where consistently, day to day, hour by hour, action by action, you're moving needles and pushing things forward and gaining momentum, accumulating velocity, that iron stays hot, and then you stay striking, and then you find, man, that sounds kind of righteous to me. That sounds like a righteous way of living as long as you're oriented towards the right things, which is what, again, sober was for me. It would have been impossible. How can you? How can you be oriented to something correctly if, at least for me, half my week was bad hangovers and the other week was normal hangovers, Yeah, your Friday will mess your whole scheme up. You could have big plans and big ambitions and, altruistic visions and all that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Well, Thirsty Thursday comes up and then you're a hungover piece of garbage all Friday. So then you're playing catch up. It's the same tenet as being a gym bro. You can get the best workouts of your life all throughout the week. Weekend comes and you eat like garbage and you just throw it all away. You'll be spinning your wheels forever. That's not righteous. What's righteous about a supercar just spinning its wheels? The guy gets out and has to like push it. You got like just thinking out loud, of course, since I started with that, the proverbial rich dude, the proverbial guy that's got it all, whipping around the nicest car you ever seen. And I'm not a car dude, but let's just say, because we all know, shit, if I see a Corvette, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sexy. I ain't never seen really a Lambo or a Ferrari or whatever, so let's just say, let's just roll with that metaphor. You got this nice equipment and something goes wrong and now you got to get out of your car and push it. It means you ain't doing something right. Probably you should probably maintain what you're working with. Keep things right, dude. At least for me, man, when I was getting messed up, getting loaded, so to speak, drinking, getting high, smoking weed, smoking pot. Yeah, it wasn't happening. And it can't happen. And I don't think I'm that special. The weekend comes and that's when the bars get busy. That's when, the cops are out. So on and so forth. We all know it. We all see it all the time, dude. So I don't know, man. Jerome's in the chat too. What's up, dude? Yeah, happy Friday, player. He says, keep fucking ripping. Yeah, man. That's what it means to me. That's what it means to me, dude. So it's important. Easy to let up off the brakes on a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. Yeah, man, it's a good vibe. Friday's a nice vibe. It's always been a nice vibe. So for whatever that means to anybody out there, man, if you guys found yourself hanging out with me this fine morning, keep chasing that dream. Keep getting after it this weekend. Don't stop just because it's Saturday. Don't stop just because it's Sunday. Maybe it's not all intense all the time, but you know what I'm saying, dude. You're out here fishing. Oh yeah, catch you some fish, dude. Man, you got Hannas broadcasting on the lake. That's fire. Covering territory, baby. Yeah, catch you some fish, dude. It's a hot ass day out there, but that's a great way to spend a Friday. That's what I'm saying. That's a righteous way to live. Yeah, I wouldn't mind waking up on a fine Friday morning, doing my basic things I gotta do, and being like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the lake and catch some fish, dude. I was fishing when I was a kid. I wouldn't mind if it was a righteous fine Friday and I handle what I gotta handle. Get that walk in, get some caffeine, talk to the people, go lift some weights, and man, if I could just be like, yo, let's go to the range and shoot off some rounds. Let's just go shoot. Yeah, that'd be kick ass. Yo, you want to jam? Yo, let's go get another lift in. Like, there's a million things that would be killer. Sitting around and wasting away, In my writing right now, as I'm writing volume 2 of the book project I'm working on, the big thing I'm talking about, man, is character, and we're all creative, whether we like it or not. And the one thing that we create every day, action by action, thought by thought, thing that you do repeated one after the other, rep, 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 the way you live, you construct, you create what your character is. And we all know what the right things in life are. We all know what the good thing is. There's a known right thing that we all somewhere in us know that we have to aim for and pursue and be aligned with that. And your character is the bearing that gets you there, man. And that's very important. It makes small things that are unimportant, like, missing a YouTube show or, waking up late, missing a lift, choosing to sit inside in the air conditioning instead of going out and sweating. That those are all acts of construction or destruction, one way or the other. And, maybe it's just this season of my life. I'm already kind of like always overthinking and, paralysis by analysis. I struggle with that. Overthinking's it's not good. Don't do it. Sometimes you just got to shut up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna think about that bench press or fucking just press it. Get under that way and just send it. So that's what I'm thinking. What you got? Jerome says, being a drunk, I would have never been able to wake up at 7 a.m. and really utilize a Friday off. Yeah, man, that's exactly correct. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing, brother. It means you got a duty to enjoy it. You got a duty to like let it nourish you, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I think that's very important. And anyone who's going to look at that, the inner version of me, parts of me that are still in there somewhere that I got to fight, they'll be like, man, it must be nice to have a Friday off and go fishing. Man, I'm punching above my weight class. I'm stepping out of my own paradigm. I don't know what's what with the next person in front of me, but I know the right thing that I got to do means I got to do it. Real simple, man. Real simple. So happy Friday, everybody. I'm out. Speaking of bench presses, I got to go do some. I do chest and arms on Friday because it makes me feel good. Bench presses and bicep curls to get some. You know what I'm saying? And make the rest of come in with a nice pump for the rest of the workday. Big arms flipping them burgers and bagging up those fries. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. Happy Friday. BS with Hannas with me, Nikki Hannas, live on YouTube at BS with Hannas. I send it out to Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, so on and so forth. Yeah, you want to hear some music? I got a second YouTube channel out here, Nikki Hannas Music. There's some live clips, bunch of like guitar jam, like backing track sessions. I like improv. I don't do this with a script. I don't do this with an outline. And every now and then I'll come out and play some guitar and be like, what's that? Jimi Hendrix style funk jam in C sharp? All right. And I'll just rip. That's the whole name of the game. You want some studio tracks? My music, Nikki Hannas. I call it heavy blues metal. NikkiBHannas.com, NikkiBHannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki Hannas on all streaming services. You want some threads, some heavy blues metal clothes? Hit it up. HeavyBluesMetal.com. You like the show, like the video, subscribe or don't, comment or don't. You really like it? Patreon link beneath. If you want to support your boy, but if not, I get it too. I get that. You'd rather just come out here and talk smack. All these cats out here on YouTube Shorts making fun of my sunglasses and the way I talk and shit. Side. It's not unfounded. But yeah, I think that's it. Any more plugs? I'm doing so much stuff, I forget. Yeah, whatever. It's all in the description. Keep it real. Happy Friday. One love. Peace.